Hello everyone, this is Varun Mishra, Senior Analyst at Counterpoint Research. We are here at MWC Barcelona 2024. Today joining with me is Mr. Michael Coad. He is Senior Vice President for Sonim Technologies. He heads the phone division there. Those who are unaware, Sonim Technologies is one of the world's leading player in the rugged smartphone segment. It caters to a lot of industries. So hello Michael.
Hello.
Welcome to Counterpoint. Thank
you.
you for joining with us.
Thank you.
So, Michael, my first question to you will be around the industry itself. So, we have seen that rugged as a segment, it's a very high value segment, but at the same time, it's a little bit niche. We have also seen some market exits happening very recently. So, from your point of view, we want to understand how do you see this market evolving over the next few years?
Okay, great question. So, one of the things that we look at Sonim, especially in the rugged space, involves really more the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So the device is oftentimes the core, and that's what a lot of people will focus on. And we do have a fair amount of innovative development to move the device further along. But we look at the overall ecosystem, and at Sonim, we provide the device, we provide robust accessories, solutions. We provide SonimWare, which is a set of software that comes with the phone, as well as allows the user or the admin. In a lot of these cases, the user is not administering their own phone, so there's maybe an admin. So via the cloud, they can configure the different device as well. So it's really a combination of different key components.
Yeah.
And then the other one that we'll do is what we call Sonim Care, and that is where we will assist a deployment. So you'll have a deployment, we'll have a large number of devices. So we'll go in there and assist them with the initial setup and configuration. So when we look at where's the market going to go in the next 5 years, certainly a lot of the focus is on the device itself. What are some of the new innovations in, for example, the glass that we use to protect it, drop, the ability to protect against the drop. All of our devices are IP68 rated. For example, we have other ratings that are like Class 1 Div 2 or ATEX Zone 2 ratings. So we're constantly looking at the industry standards in that regard. But then we fill that out with the other components, the accessories, the SonimWare, and we listen to customer feedback, and we also see what how the deployments are going and how we can improve those going forward.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's more of a solution-oriented approach,
Correct.
and industry-specific solution-oriented approach rather than just looking at the devices itself.
Correct. Yeah. In fact, we call it our rugged solution or
Yeah.
rugged ecosystem. We believe it's a strong competitive advantage
Correct.
for Sonim. There are an awful lot of other companies that do rugged devices,
Yeah.
but we've found it's not just about having a rugged device. If you can't support it with the accessories, with the software, the deployments, then the end customer is not going to benefit.
So that's where the huge value add from Sonim
Correct.
comes
Yes.
in.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming to the devices itself, so I was looking at some of your devices. Looks ultra rugged and with some very, very novel features. So how do you test these devices, make sure that they are rugged, and at the same time, they are user friendly in terms of design, in terms of interface as well? If you can throw some light on it.
Yeah. So on the rugged design, there are certain industry specifications and certifications that we look at. For example, IP68, Mil Standard 810H, Class 1 Division 2. Those are well-known industry specifications and certifications. But Sonim, way back when we got our start, we developed what we call our Rugged Performance Standard, RPS. And that covers things like, and some of this not only is just about rugged, but it's also the usability part that you asked about. So battery life. So typically we design our our devices to have a battery capacity that would at least cover double shift. If somebody were to work double shift, they wouldn't have to worry about battery at all. Loudness. So that's the loudness of the speaker. That's part of our RPS. There's no industry standard for how loud that should be.
Yeah.
So that we've defined that ourselves, and we apply it to our products. And some of that just comes from your other point about the feedback. What are the use cases? What are the environments that we find our devices in? And in a number of cases, they're going to be very loud manufacturing types of facilities where loudness is key. Other things are chemical resistance. During COVID, that was even much more highlighted. The importance of
Yes.
being able to disinfect the product. So that's also part of our RPS. So these are some of the standards. So it's a combination of industry standards plus Sonim standards. And then as far as your question about I think you'd asked about how to still make it user friendly.
Yes.
It kind of comes back to, if you look at some of our use cases, oftentimes, for example, push to talk is a big part of it. So we incorporate that not only in the loudspeaker, but there's a PTT button, there's a red SOS button. On top of that, it's glove friendly. So in wet conditions, things of that sort. But also we in our Sonim Care, when we assist in the deployment and we get feedback from the customer, we then take a look at that and figure out, okay, how can we iterate either within the same device as far as like a software upgrade, where it might be a new feature. For example, I'll give you an example. One of the things that we had was on some of the buttons there, some people were accidentally pressing it. And so we added a time delay into that. It seems minor, but that customer was very pleased because it solved an issue. And so part of our solution is to be responsive to customer feedback. And then we'll take that and roll that into future products as well.
That's very interesting. Especially consumer feedback becomes very, very important, because the devices of Sonim works in industries which some of them are very, very mission critical, right? For example, law enforcement or firefighting, or even conditions like mining, where a seemingly small thing could become a very big thing.
Could be very critical.
Yeah, could become very, very critical. So if you can, throw some more light on how does that feedback loop works across different industries, and you integrate it to create a device which works in such varied conditions. If you can throw some light
so
on
I think a lot of it comes back to our Sonim Care, which we've got a group of people that will work directly with customers that are doing a deployment. Anywhere from, we've done mining to school buses, things of that sort. So we'll actually see, we're not just there for the initial deployment. We're there to see how it's performing, and then what improvements that we can make. And there's a number of different features that we've incorporated just based off of that feedback loop. So I would say the way we do it is stay engaged with the customer all the way through. And then you can see when they first deploy it is different than after they've been using it for 6 months, because then you see the next operational types of feedback that you get. So we stay engaged with the customers throughout, and our Sonim Care is really our outward facing or customer facing tool, not only to support but to get that feedback. And then I work directly with people on the Sonim Care side, constantly getting their feedback around, hey, it'd be great if we could do this, or maybe in the next phone we could do that. So that's kind of the feedback loop that we incorporate.
It's very interesting to know how Sonim is working right from customer facing to way back, going into setting of standards and working on feedback and designing those devices. It's amazing.
It really takes a comprehensive effort, and that's why I still come back to our rugged solution or the ecosystem around it. It's not just about the device.
Correct. My next question will be around the cellular coverage. So for example, some of these devices, the conditions are such where cellular coverage might not be available.
Right.
So how does Sonim manages that? How are you looking at the satellite coverage in that market
Yeah.
picking up? If you can throw some light on it.
Well, so in public safety, off network has been an issue for a while. Um, Satellite is certainly gotten a lot of talk lately. Our position on satellite is that we're supporting the 3GPP standards-based end-to-end. We sell our devices through carrier partners, and a number of those carrier partners have announced their satellite plans, so we want to support them. We're not looking to add our own satellite receiver in there that would be proprietary or that sort. So we will support the carrier initiatives on, and those are all 3GPP standards-based approaches. Other areas that we look at are off-network. There really hasn't been a good solution around that just yet. There's some interesting 5G related technologies that could potentially allow us to do a off-network capability that we continue to work with our technology partners on. It's not quite mature yet, but it's definitely a priority for us. Some of the use cases around off-network have been a combination of rural, where satellite, phone to satellite could really play in as being a potential way to solve that. But other use cases are like in building, and you're not going to get satellite coverage there. So there's still a off network or device to device connectivity that we're working to try and solve on that front.
It's very interesting. It has been very nice to talk to you, Michael. It's very interesting to know what Sonim is doing and how it's looking at the industry from a solution point of view. So that's all from our side. Thank you, Michael. It has been great. Thank you for giving us time for this.